Hi, I'm Mike Maloney, and welcome to another CSRM podcast. Today's episode is hosted by Andrew Fouts.
Hey everybody, welcome to REACHgathering 2021. I am Andrew Fouts. This is an OVRadio special here. We're going to be doing this Misfit style. We're going to be doing the CSRM podcast style. But today we finally have been able to track down, since he's been stuck on a mountain and can't run away from us anymore, the one and only Don Weyrick. Don is a misfit in the fact that he's, a lot of people would not consider him a sports minister, sports rec fitness minister, sports pastor, any of that. But yet he's doing all the same work as the rest of us. Don runs Playing for Eternity out in Southern California, and this is a different type of ministry because we don't, we were just talking, I don't even know what really to call it, because you're a pro-am, but you're not a pro-am. You're a league, but you're not a league. You're a development center, but you're not a development center. You're a parachurch, but you're not a parachurch. You're a church, but you're not a church. What exactly is Playing for Eternity here?
I guess the name fits, misfits all across the board, and not the ministry too, but we're a little bit of everything. It's all volunteer based, so that's kind of where we're at, but we're a ministry that is not associated to any one church. It is in the works that, praying that the church that I'm attending, Legacy Church, P4E, will come on in some sort, just praying about what that looks like. But we're an outreach ministry, 90% outreach, which is not the norm. We're just reaching the urban community because the game of basketball, we've turned into one of the top leagues in California, which is kind of amazing how good God is. And we've also turned it into one of the top women's league just during COVID, which is kind of crazy. Having NBA guys and WNBA girls playing our league and knowing they got to act different, and by relational, they're learning the love of Jesus.
Yeah, so that's the first place we kind of want to start with you is, how do you, as somebody who, you're just, you basically are just coming in, opening up the gym and saying, hey, sign up, let's play some basketball, we'll coordinate everything. How do you get these professional athletes who basketball literally is their livelihood? How do you get them to go from, this is what I do every day, this is my job, and so this is how I act, to coming into your gym and understanding that, hey, this is a little bit of a different style of basketball than I'm used to. I'm not going to be able to just, I'm not going to be out here just swearing every other play. The hard fouls are going to be not as widely accepted when they're extremely hard. How do you take these professional athletes and get them to understand, hey, there's more than the game of basketball here?
Well, first, I'm upfront with them. So I let them know the groundwork of what we're about before they even think about joining the league. And usually they come with friends that have already played in the league, by word of mouth, marketing wise. And those players they police their own. So they know what we're about. They know me. They respect me, at least, even though they may not believe in certain circumstances. They respect me and what I got going on and what I stand for. And then therefore they respect what P4E is about. But I don't judge them right away. I don't judge them at all, but if they cuss right away, hey, like I work progress. I expect more from the guys that have played in our league multiple seasons versus the new guy. And then I just try to build one-on-one relationships like we're doing right now, talking to them one-on-one so they know me and I know them. And then we got a better understanding. Then over time, they'll learn respect and they'll learn why I love them. And that's because Jesus loves them.
Awesome. So going a step further from that, you actually have, at least recently, I've only connected with you maybe the past 5-6 years, something like that. You've been a friend of CSRM for a lot longer, but you have seen actually a lot of good ministry success, even just in the past 2 years, even just pandemic wise. both basketball and spiritual wise. You've had some baptisms, you've had some professional signings. What's the attitude, at least among a lot of your regular guys, as far as what this is? Do they look at this as this is their chance to build themselves basketball? Is this their chance for them to, is this a discipleship thing for them, or is this just a combination of both?
Combination of both. Everyone's different, and usually they come in just to compete, especially in our open division. We have a couple different divisions, but our open division, men's wise, they're coming to compete because it's one of the top leagues in California, and they know, and it's one of the cheapest too.
That's always a big factor.
Yeah, especially with hoopers, like especially guys trying to play pro, they're not working as much, or they're just driving Uber or Postmates or something like that. But
shout out to my fellow drivers.
Right. But these guys, everybody's different. So they come in wanting to compete, and then by the relationships we pour into, we're praying that they reach the, hey, let's learn a little, share a prayer request, let's move on to the next level. And little by little, then they're thinking about, hey, what is Jesus? Or like, oh, Don prayed for me, and this happened, and this, like, I need prayer, I need more than, like, there's something in this league different. And then they realize it's because of Jesus, and then along the line, reach baptism, discipleship, and so on. But the ministry has been going on for like 10 years, but really only the last this is our 6th year of it really became a ministry and not about me playing. Before, the first 5 years, it was me playing, hooping, and then ministry on the side. I didn't know it at the time. I was honestly thinking it was all ministry, but I realized like 6 years ago that, it was about me. And once my mindset changed and I just let Jesus take over, the ministry really happened. And it's not by coincidence that's when we started blowing up and started getting more traction within the pro-am part. And now we're crazy. It's crazy good. During COVID, we doubled the numbers because we were one of the first leagues back.
Which for people to get context, again, you're Southern California, which everybody knows how California handled the pandemic.
Yeah.
So for a basketball league that is all meeting together and hands-on to grow in the state that was the most locked down of any, and for the longest time, that's definitely got to be a God thing for that to actually be able to take place.
Yeah, we were the ones. There was one underground league that kept playing. I don't know. I won't speak on that, but
we're not gonna blow anybody's cover here.
We're not putting them on blast, but at least they gave an avenue for guys to play. But we were one of the first leagues besides that one that the church that I attend gave me approval to go through in the city. And as far as I know, we haven't had one COVID case from the league.
From the league.
Yeah, like
good clarification there, from the league.
Yeah, and I tell the guys if they're sick, they don't show up, and we put in different protocols, temperature checks, and sign-in sheets. But before that, we had 3 baptisms during the lockdown. Just meeting with guys on Instagram, and me and you talked about podcasts and different avenues to reach guys, because that was the thing I missed the most, is connecting with these guys and them not being church folk. Like, we're the church to them. P4E is. So if we're not playing, then what church are they getting? So we still got to connect with certain guys, and those 3 people probably wouldn't have been baptized. At least as soon as they did. God would have still worked in their lives, but because of the lockdown, it kind of refocused all 3 of them, and 2 of them are professional hoopers, a male, female, and all 3 were in my backyard pool, which is amazing, the coolest thing ever. And so yeah, that was actually the highlight of COVID, by far. Like, baptizing the 3 people in the car, Travis, T, and Victor, and it's led to other people in the future that want to get baptized, and just because they saw their fellow hooper, oh, I respect her, like what she's getting baptized, she's speaking about Jesus now, And
maybe we can take this more seriously.
Yeah, now it's not. I need to get serious before it's too late.
Yeah. So, those of you that are listening through CSRM, you guys, we hear this all the time. Those of you that are listening to Misfits, we talked about this first, I think, with the McDowells. But, even though you're talking about how those first 4 years or so was more of God working on you to change your attitude, the timeline you've got there is exactly what Dr. Linville talks about, as far as, especially, again, inner city style ministry, sports ministry of, 4 to 7 years before we start to see fruit. And, I fully suspect that even though for you felt like most of the work the Spirit was doing was on you, there still has been massive impact within not just the local community, but the basketball community as a whole. Because, I mean, your guys are signing, and, you now have presence overseas. You've got presence in other states. So much so that you actually have been approached, P4E is expanding beyond just being a little community league now to, you and I were talking, almost trying to replicate what you're doing with P4E in another professional arena with the Orcas and with some other teams. So give us a little bit of what's going on with all of that.
So P4E has grown into one of, like I said, one of the top leagues, and I'm not trying to. I'm still uncomfortable saying that because it's beyond amazing.
It's not bragging when it's actual documented fact. I mean, you guys were you even have put teams out of the league into the Drew League, which is the most well-known pro-am league in the world, and you guys just missed the cut by one team. So I mean, this isn't like just. You're just taking guys off the street and saying, "Hey, can you dribble a basketball? Okay, you can come in here and play." I mean, you have top level. I remember a couple years ago, you even posting, Montrezl Harrell showed up and was ready to go with you guys because he had already heard about what you're doing. So this is not a just fly by night operation. You're allowed to be accurate with your statements here.
Yeah, I'm not one to boast, so that's kind of like where I got to be able to share the story, like Danny Downing says. I got to be able to share our story and be comfortable with it, and that's part of it. But yeah, Montrez played a game. We played in other events where he's been a part of, and Derek Williams, who's a local guy. Derek Williams, the power forward, not the point guard, but there's two. And then now Chris Copeland, who's a former Knick, is playing in our league currently. And we have a couple WNBA girls playing now. But because of that, we've taken guys from our league that I've wanted to connect with, or I already had a good connection with, and played in pro-am leagues, money tournaments, the Venice Basketball League where White Men Can't Jump was. And you
guys didn't do too bad in that either. I remember seeing some of those games.
Yeah, in 2019, we won 6 championships, all on pro-am level. Or some, they don't always call themselves a pro-am, but there's pros playing. VBL, the lowest we finished was quarterfinals, and then even last year we won a couple tournaments with them. So yeah, we were really close to the Drew. If it wasn't for COVID, we'd probably be in. Like this year, we're kind of redirecting, and now we're in the women's Drew, trying to build that program because our guys' program and leagues and ministry is already known. Like I was telling you a little bit earlier, like it's more known than not known, which is beyond. Like,
crazy to think about.
Like I can't imagine that. Like I would always have to hey, this is what we are. And like people, when I show up to the Drew, they know P4E. And I was like, I've seen you on Instagram. You're a friend of a friend of a friend, and you're coming up to me. Oh, P4E, let me play in your league sometime. I was like, let's rock. But it's just crazy how many of those people, and then just because I sent out a tryout list, or like people who want to try out for the women's Drew, and I've already been hit by like 10 or 12 professional ladies that want to play, and it's crazy. We're going to be women's Drew, better watch out. We're going to be coming in strong.
Yeah, you guys are doing a lot of good stuff out there, both ministry wise and basketball wise. It's exciting to see. You've been developing even beyond just you already were at least I would say a decent level, you would agree with, coach, even going in 4 years ago. But you've been developing yourself as a basketball coach with your knowledge and with talking with these guys. But you have also been diving deep into the idea of how do I actually make this a effective ministry. Those of you that will maybe we'll see how many people, those of you that have read Dr. Linville's newest book, if you recognize Don's name, that's because you actually are one of the ones that actually reads the reviews and the forwards and everything. So good for you. But you have been doing a lot of training within the CSRM programs, within some of our other foundational partners here at Reach. You're working towards that. What has been the biggest thing that has impacted you as far as being able to go from, this is a league I can play in at a high level, and with these guys that are all, I'm able to rock with all these guys that are, high level athletes, to where now you're more excited about the fact that you're baptizing them in your pool than you are even that you got them to walk into the gym? What's been the biggest thing that has changed for you?
The easy answer would be me, and allowing God to just take over. Like I tried to be, in the past, the first 5 years, I tried to force it, and we struggled to get 18. Like I had to beg people, like, hey, play, like, come on and play. Now I'm turning teams away, but it's all because I'm letting Jesus take the wheel, per se. But besides that, that's the easy answer, and the biggest answer, but Reach, I can't give enough credit to Reach, and because it wouldn't be the first time I stepped in the Reach at, I think, Lake Point in Texas, that I was beyond. This is what sports ministry can be and really is. And there's a ton of people doing it that are doing it on a huge scales to small scales. Yes, we're a little bit different than pretty much every sports ministry that comes here, but the principles are the same and the groundwork's the same. And I've learned, I try to take at least one thing and really focus on that. But beyond that, the relationships, connections like you and I and Greg and Bob have been mentors to me, and with Brent and Downey now, like those guys, and Steve Quattro from APU, from local, and Josh Merrill from Shepherd, they do eternity sports out there.
Mm-hmm.
That group kind of like gave me a good example of, and also like put me in check. Like, hey, like when they ask me a question, I'm like, oh, okay, we're not doing that. I need to figure out how to get there, because that's what we should be doing. Not because they said it, because God's really touching my heart at that point. And that, along with just letting Jesus take the wheel and just continue to be as obedient as possible. I'm not perfect, no one is, but just trying to get closer to Him. And then with that, the ministry will get closer to Him, and people are going to see Jesus through me. Hopefully, that's my prayer.
Yeah, you listed off, basketball wise, you talked about, you've got decently big names coming through, but I would say almost even bigger names have been the ones mentoring you as far as the ministry side. I mean, you're not going to find better mentors within the sports ministry world than Greg and Bob and, Steve Quattro.
Yeah.
Danny Downing, we celebrate 20 years of him, last year. You are definitely connected in the right places. So, it's awesome to see what you're doing, what's going on out there. Where can people that want to find out more information about P4E or what the other stuff you guys are doing with these, potential new leagues and new teams, where can people get information about all that?
The easiest way is on Instagram at Playing for Eternity. The 4 is the number. On Facebook, the same thing, P4E. It's P4E, Playing for Eternity Sports Ministry. And then we have the website, playingforeternity.com. And then always hit me up on Instagram, B-Ball, the vessel, a couple underscores there. But that's the easiest way. And I just love connecting with people. And that's come from Reach and the focus on that and networking. And, just guys like Eric Dewey, who's in United Kingdom, hit me up because I posted a picture. And we connected at Lake Point, and we only met that one day, but we stayed connected. And those connections are what fuels us to keep pushing forward. And during those low times or frustrating times, there's guys that are doing the same thing that we could rely on. And it's been a big blessing, and it's just amazing that God chose me to run this ministry. And I was barely a Christian. I just got saved the year before. So, and I'm connecting to the community that I was a part of, because I was part of I didn't grow up in the inner city, but I grew up a street from the inner city. And that's where I hung out, was the inner city, playing basketball, playing sports, and ministering to the community that I was a part of and still is.
Awesome. Yeah, you really are a lot of what, we talk about within this. This is part of why you fit that CSRM person, especially, as well as these others. But this idea of, you, a baby Christian that's wanting to impact impact their community with sports, and especially their local community, their, what we use with our international, the indigenous, population, of going back in, and you've been doing that in an awesome, big way. So check out all P4E stuff. Check out Don on Instagram. Some of you, and we'll even do, you even sponsored a couple podcasts last year when we were getting back into it. The opening logos thing for the CSRM podcast, that dunk is coming out of P4E. So go check out all that stuff. Go check out him. You can also check us out at REACHgathering. Depending on if I actually get this up and running here before REACHgathering is over, you can still check out some of our live events. If this is after Reach is over, then you can still go back and listen to some of our main sessions that we're live streaming as well. Those of you that are here at Reach, if you're hearing this, come stop by the CSRM booth. You can jump on the mic as well. I'm not too bad to deal with on the mic, right?
No, this was fun.
Yeah. See, I'm not scary, even though, David Waddell tells people I am. So, anyway, yeah, this has been a little bit of an OVRadio special. You'll be hearing this on the Misfits side. You'll be hearing this on the CSRM side. Come down, check out REACHgathering, check out P4E, check out Misfits, check out CSRM. All the links are going to be in the show notes in the video. So we will talk to you all when we come back. We've got a couple other interviews we're going to be doing down here. We're going to be talking to Brad Winter. We're going to be talking to Brad Bloom. A lot of Brads. I just realized. I'm not quite sure why we got all that.
I don't know many Brads.
I know, but yet they're all here apparently. Apparently that's the other thing you need to be a sports minister, is know a few Brads. So we'll see all the rest of you when we come back.
The CSRM podcast is a production of the Association of Church Sports and Recreation Ministers and their video production house, Overwhelming Victory Flix. Dr. Greg Linville is the executive producer, and Andrew Fouts is associate producer and editor. For more information about CSRM, visit csrm.org. For more information about Overwhelming Victory, visit overwhelmingvictory.org. The CSRM podcast is the flagship member of a new podcast network called Overwhelming Victory Radio. For more information on Overwhelming Victory Radio or to listen to our partner podcasts, visit overwhelmingvictory.org/OVRadio. For CSRM Podcasts, I'm Mike Maloney. Have a blessed day.